Neil Gorsuch has been confirmed to be the 101st Supreme Court Justice. Huffington Post says here, the Senate confirmed Judge Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court on Friday, ending an ugly, weeks-long fight between Democrats who demanded a different nominee and Republicans who changed the rules to go around them entirely. Gorsuch was confirmed 54-45. Senator Joe Manchin, Heidi Heitkamp, and Joe Donnelly were the only Democrats, I like how they put the word only in there, who voted with Republicans to support President Donald Trump's court pick. Senator Johnny Isakson missed the vote. Okay, so what happened is the Republicans went nuclear. And what that means is they changed the rules and eliminated the possibility of a filibuster in order to get Neil Gorsuch confirmed. They weren't going to hit 60 votes. They knew they were going to be well short of 60 votes. So they said, okay, let's just change it. Let's go nuclear and get rid of the filibuster and approve Gorsuch with a simple majority. Damn. So remember when it was the Democrats who were in control and when the Republicans were blocking virtually everything, they sat around and said, gosh, I don't know. I lost my stapler. Can I please have my stapler back? I really would like to disagree with the Republicans, but I don't know. I have it in me to disagree with the Republicans. Maybe I'll disagree with them a little bit, but not like a lot, and then maybe they'll be nice to me if I do this and if I give them what they want. This is basically worst case scenario. Because now you have to understand that the Supreme Court, there are so many really old people on the Supreme Court. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I believe, was diagnosed a while ago with pancreatic cancer, and she's stayed on the court with it. She may have defeated it, which is really hard to do because that's like the worst kind of cancer to get. But she's really up there in age, and if she happens to pass away within the next, 4 years, which is likely, well, then Trump gets another pick, and it would be a simple majority, and the Republicans have a simple majority. So this is another example of the Republicans saying when it's the Democrats in control, what are you doing? Oh my God, the traditions and rules of the Senate. You can't change that. What are you, crazy? That's nuts. Obviously, you have to get the bipartisan support and get our input on this as the opposition party. But then when the Republicans have control, anyway, nuke the whole thing and let's just do whatever we want. So that's the situation that we're faced with right now. And the Democrats piss me off because understand there's always an option. They act like, now we obviously have to lay down on the ground in a chalk outline of ourselves. No, you don't, because there was a comment period before you have the final vote. Now, if I'm the Democrats, what I do is I get all of them on the same page, and during the comment period, you go one by one, and you pass it off like a baton. Everybody speaks for 30 minutes, let's say. And you have your 5 or 6 talking points, and you just repeat them over and over and over and over and over. Neil Gorsuch voted for a man to freeze to death. Neil Gorsuch voted for a man to freeze to death. He sided with management over a worker who would have frozen to death if he obeyed management. That's one talking point. Another point is Neil Gorsuch wants to turn the United States of America, a secular democracy, into a theocracy. He voted with management and Hobby Lobby for them to control the reproductive decisions of their employees. You have these points. He's against euthanasia even in cases of terminally ill patients. He thinks you should never have the right to determine what happens with your life. You get your talking points all in a row. You all go out there. You repeat them over and over and over and over to the point where anybody watching you, after an hour of watching it, can memorize all of his shitty votes. And you keep doing it, and then when they say, okay, it's time for a vote, you don't yield the floor. Say, we're not yielding it. You go, what are you doing? You're breaking the tradition and rules of the Senate here, Democrats. And your response is, actually, that's exactly what you just did by eliminating the filibuster. So you want to play by those rules, or we just eliminate the rules and traditions of the Senate? Fine, you open the door, I'm walking through it. So now I'm going to not listen to you when I'm supposed to yield the floor. How about that? And then, okay, there's a problem. Take me out of here in handcuffs. They take somebody out of there in handcuffs. I want the next Democratic senator to go up there and say, repeat the same talking points, and then that one will get taken out of there in handcuffs, and then the next one does it. And guess what? That makes the news everywhere. Nobody doesn't cover that. And then when they cover that, what are they going to say? Because, the Democrats have broken the rules and traditions of the Senate. Well, the Republicans did too by getting rid of the filibuster, so... You see what happens? You set up the framing, and then furthermore, if you just repeat those same 5-6 talking points about how terrible his voting record is, about how he's Antonin Scalia, just a younger version of him, well, guess what? That'll take hold, and people will know. You want them to be able to just repeat. You should have the exact percentage. I don't know the exact percentage, but whatever it happens to be, 89% of the time or whatever, that Judge Neil Gorsuch sides with management over workers, go out there and repeat it. Neil Gorsuch hates the working man, voted 89% of the time with corporate management over the working man. Repeat it! And then make people go, ugh, God. It's to the point where they say, okay, I got it, you twisted my arm, Neil Gorsuch sucks, I get it. This is how you win when it comes to framing. But no, they sheepishly go away. And remember, it was the Republicans. Now they're all concerned, oh my God, the Democrats and their obstruction. First of all, they're not obstructing, as I just explained to you. But second of all, they blocked Merrick Garland from even having a hearing. So it's not like they said, okay, let's have a hearing. Okay, he got through the hearing. Okay, now let's have a vote. Okay, he lost the vote. No, they said, we're not even going to have a hearing. They go, what do you mean? This is the way it's supposed to work, right? No, they broke the fucking record. They broke the record of obstruction. They didn't even have a hearing for over 300 days. They more than doubled the second longest obstruction, time frame. So the double standard and the hypocrisy and the contradictions, I mean, it's just so gross. And what the Democrats need to do is grow a spine and understand that when you have somebody like Gorsuch, who's a genuinely dangerous character, like, it's the right thing to obstruct, because you're obstructing based on the fact that he's a terrible justice and that he would make decisions that are going to detrimentally affect everybody in the country. And remember, we're talking about the Supreme Court here. That arguably has more direct effect on your life and will for decades to come, more so than even the president does. So we're going to put baby Scalia on the court, young guy who is exactly like Scalia. We're going to put him on the court, and the Democrats just going to, I don't know, why is everybody so upset? You know why we're upset. You should know why we're upset. And forget about it. If you're Heidi Heitkamp, Joe Donnelly, Joe Manchin, justicedemocrats.com. Go there right now, because we want to primary these guys. You don't just get to vote for baby Scalia and then in the next election say, I would now like the Democrats to support me and vote for me. How about no? How about, not only are we not going to support you, we're going to oppose you, and we're going to steamroll you. You're against everything that we stand for if you vote for baby Scalia. And the only reason they're doing it is because they're from red states. So they're like, oh, well, Trump won my state, so I got to be bipartisan. Except jackass, he now has a 35% approval rating, so nobody's really happy with him. And then furthermore, when you talk about Gorsuch, he's even less popular. He got boos at a North Carolina or South Carolina town hall filled with Republicans. Because they know, okay, hey, he sided with management over workers. He's not for me. You want to talk about draining the swamp? You want to talk about being anti-elitist? This guy went to all the best schools in the country. He's a Republican thoroughbred. His mom worked for Reagan's EPA and slashed regulations across the board. I mean, this guy is as big of a douchey elitist right-winger as you could get. And they're voting for him thinking, this will save my ass in the next election. No, it'll get your ass handed to you on a silver platter in the next election. So we're going to come for you. JusticeDemocrats.com. I'm telling you, man, you got to support us, because we are the most organized faction taking on the corporate Democrats. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing but love for all the others. And hell, we'll team up with them. We teamed up with Brand New Congress. Brand New Congress and Justice Democrats now work together. We're working together with the National Nurses Union, National Nurses United, when it comes to single payer and some other stuff. So we're willing to work with all actual progressive and liberal groups. But my point is, we're organized, and the proof is in the numbers. I already told you, 80 candidates through candidate training, 30 still in candidate training right now. I mean, we're locked and loaded. We're ready to go here. We're actually running people. It's not just talk. It's not just all bark and no bite. We're going to bite, son. And Joe Manchin is going to feel it, and the rest of them are going to feel it, because when we're talking about somebody like Neil Gorsuch, it shouldn't be, hey, they only got 3 Democrats to vote for Gorsuch. No, it should be all the Democrats voted against Gorsuch, and you were able to get 4 or 5 Republicans who voted against him. But since they don't know how to frame an argument, they don't know how to win in the realm of ideas, they don't know how to hammer a point home, well, the Democrats just look like floundering, flailing weaklings, and the Republicans look strong, even though they're strong with a lot of bad ideas behind them.